Today I want to show you the Survivor HK1023DP mini knife. It's a very cool knife I've gotten from Amazon. I'm going to unbox it for you here. All I've done so far is cut off the tape on the box. Now, one comment I've seen on this knife is that people expect it to be larger. I'm not sure why. The measurements are listed right there on the listing for it. It's a 7.5 inch knife overall. It's got a nylon sheath here, and the blade has a plastic protective sleeve over it when you first open it. It's a 4-inch blade and a 3.5 inch handle, so you pretty much know what you're getting into, but since it looks somewhat like a K-bar fighting knife, maybe that's throwing some folks off. There is a little bit of wetness. That may just be residual from the plastic when I opened it up. But it is a very cool little mini knife here. It's got a partially serrated edge up here on the front of it. It's coated in a black coating. A little bit crinkly looking, but for such a cheap knife, it's not to be unexpected. There is a little bit of a burr up top here. I'm not sure if you can see very well, but right here, a little bit of a burr on the upper edge. I'll probably file that off. The handle is a plastic and rubber handle. Not really sure which. It has a little bit of a rubbery feel to it, but it feels pretty much like plastic. A little indent in the bottom, kind of looking like there's a full tang going through, but that's just part of the plastic bottom. It looks like this cap either pops off or screws off by chance. There's no dowel or pin holding it in place. Just to give you guys some examples of size differences so you won't be surprised by this knife, I'm going to show you this knife, and then I'm going to show you a couple of other pretty popular knives that you may run into if you enjoy knives. The first one's going to be the Smith & Wesson HRT boot knife. You can see right here the HRT knife is quite a bit larger of a knife. So if you happen to have an HRT, you know what you're getting into here. This one's approximately 80% as long, with a much skinnier blade on it. I'll also show you this compared to a Swiss Army knife. Here's the handle on it. The Swiss Army knife's handle is actually slightly longer than what the Survivor knife is. Again, looking at the pictures, you probably think it's a bit bigger than a Swiss Army knife, but in truth, there's not a huge size differential between them. There's a Swiss knife. Now once they're open, the Survivor knife has quite a lot longer blade. This is a standard 91mm, kind of your old-fashioned typical Swiss Army knife. This is the Super Tinker model, just in case you wanted to look it up. But for a fun little knife to carry around on you, this would fit on your belt pretty easily. It's got a little belt loop in the sheath, so a little belt loop right here. It's not a heavy knife by any means, extremely light. The handle, and I have fairly small hands, is barely large enough to wrap your fingers around, but the guard is digging into my hand a little bit. With the guard above my hand, the butt of the knife is digging into my palms a little, so it's not a knife you're going to be doing a lot of heavy duty stuff with, but again, this was a very cheap purchase at the time I made it. It's a cool looking little knife, small knife, so hopefully now that helps you know what you're getting into a little better, gives you an idea of the size, and gives you a little bit more purchasing power. So that is my review of the Survivor HK1023DP knife. If you're interested in any of their other knives, they also have the HK1023DG. It's going to be the same size and style, except there's no serration on the edge. And then they also have this HK1023TN, which is a Tonto style blade. It does have a serration on it. So 3 knives in the same series.